Greetings YouTube. This video is really directed at doctors. All kinds of medical doctors and dentists. Anybody in the medical profession. A little bit of a rant, so brace yourself. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time. I'll try to keep it brief. If this doesn't apply to you, then send it to those colleagues of yours that you think it might apply to. I am sick and tired of rude doctors that, you know, whatever. I'm 50 years old, and even in my life, I remember when doctors, when the profession was honorable, and doctors really they really cared about their patients, and you felt it. You felt that they cared about your situation, and they would talk to you and answer your questions because, you know, you're concerned about your life. But I have noticed in the last 10 years, 15 years, there seems to be there has been an absolute shift in doctor-patient relationships. And I mean, I'm from Los Angeles. I live in Virginia now. I've traveled all over the country. I've been to doctors all over the place. And I gotta tell you, man, 90% of the doctors are just complete assholes. I'm sorry to say it that way. I can't tell you how many doctors I've fired, and if you're one of my doctors, then you know, my past doctors, and you're watching this, you already know why I left your practice, because I've told you. I've sent letters to you. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if it's the political environment in terms of medical care in this country, or what it is. But there are so many doctors that just want to get you in there. They bring you in the office. You sit in a room. You know, you go from the waiting room to your little room, and you sit there for an hour. Most of the time, you sit in there for an hour like some idiot in jail. And then when the doctor comes in, they're like completely disinterested. You know, they give you hey, how you doing? They listen to you or pretend to listen to you, and then when you have questions, and this is the part that really jacks my blood pressure up, is God forbid you should have a question about something. I can't tell you how many times I've asked doctors. They've told me, well, we're going to prescribe this medication to you or this other one, and I've asked questions about the medication, side effects, will it affect, you know, will it negatively interact with this other medication that I'm taking. And so many doctors just literally seem offended at the mere thought that you would question them or ask for an explanation. You know, and I just want to grab them by their throat and say, hey, excuse me for being concerned with my own life and my own body. I mean, if I don't ask the doctor, who the hell am I supposed to ask? Some wino walking down the street? Of course I've got questions. And I'm not a robot. I don't just arbitrarily pop a pill in my mouth because some dude or some lady that has a title of doctor and tells me I need to put it in my body. How about giving me a little background on it? How about making me feel comfortable? And you know, I just often wonder how these doctors feel. Hang on a second, I'm parking. I wonder about doctors when they have problems. You know, when they go to a doctor who, you know, obviously they probably don't go to other doctors, but if they go to a specialist, I'm sure they're treated differently, just like you know, other professions. I mean, I'm retired law enforcement, and of course you get treated a little bit differently for the most part, a little nicer because you're brothers in arms, your colleagues. But I just wonder if doctors think about how they treat their patients. You know, is that how that they would want their mother or their father treated when they go to a doctor? Whatever happened to the perceived compassion that doctors used to exhibit, you know, that they really gave a crap? It just seems to me like so many are burned out, and they're just in it to go in there and type a few things into a computer, talk into a recorder so somebody can write up the report and get your dumb ass out of their office so they can reel in the next 25 people and then bill the insurance. I mean, look, man, if you really are that cold and bitter about your profession, maybe you are in the wrong profession. Maybe you've burned out and it's time for you to get the hell out of there, because it's offensive and it's turning our country really upside down. I mean, this is the type of medical crap that you hear about in the Soviet Union or the former Soviet Union. You know, where you just go in there and nobody gives a shit how long you waited or what kind of pain you're in, and you know, it goes beyond that too. It's the office staff. You know, I think doctors should be responsible for their staff. You know, you call up any doctor's office and try and change a schedule or ask a question. And they'll tell you, oh, you got to come in here and see me. You know, you may have gotten a prescription for some, you know, rash on your ankle, and you know, for you to go to the doctor, and this is what doctors need to understand. You're at your place of work. For all of the rest of America, for most of them, when they come and see you, that's a whole day. They got to take a whole day off of work, use a vacation day or a sick day, whatever. It's a life-altering experience to go spend the day in your crappy little office with your rude staff and to be stuck in isolation for an hour. I always make them pay for it. Every time I'm stuck in those rooms, man, I load up on all the gauze and bandages and shit that I can possibly take. That's what I consider a tax for fucking with me. But the other thing is, you know, you guys are responsible for your staff. Why don't you tell people to treat the patients as if they were actually relatives or humans? You know, and there's some of you might be thinking, well, what are you going to do? You have no choice. That's not true. You know, we do have choices. And I'm calling, if you're not a doctor and you're watching this video and you've got a rude doctor or a non-responsive doctor, one that gets irritated with you when you ask a question or has a rude staff, there are many other doctors in your area. Literally, fire your doctor and tell them why. Tell them, I'm leaving, I'm going to go somewhere else because you're absolutely rude and you don't respond to questions, or your staff is completely screwed up. Don't be afraid to demand better service from these people. And you doctors, you know, I don't care what you think of me right now. Look into the mirror and ask yourself if the guy on the video is resonating with you at all in terms of your own activity and your own treatment toward patients. I mean, just think back when you were going through medical school, all the work you put into that and how you wanted to help people. Or maybe your motivation was money. Who knows? I hope not. But if your motivation was to, you know, to follow the Hippocratic Oath and to really, really make a difference, are you making a difference when you give people shitty looks when they ask a question? Or you know, when you walk into the room with the expression on your face as if, you know, you're coming in to change the oil on a car? Man, you know, we are people that have concerns, and you know, quite frankly, you know, if I got a rash on my balls, that's pretty goddamn important to me. Okay, that's like a major thing to me. It may be an inconvenience to you if I have 25 questions and want to know if it's related to the you know, the freaking some weird virus that's coming in from, you know, Kathmandu, whatever. I mean, all of us are not. If we were medical experts, we wouldn't be sitting in your office. So some of our questions are going to be completely stupid to you. But you ask me a question about firearms, and then I'm going to look at you like you're an idiot if I used your method. Okay? I'm a firearms expert. I don't expect you to know everything about what you know the difference in trigger pull weight. And you know, what's the difference between this part or that part, or the recoil spring, whatever. We don't know the things that you know. That's why we're sitting in your office. So if I ask you or if a patient asks you a completely stupid question, remember, they're just looking out for themselves. You know, so if you can't be compassionate, try to pretend. Try to pretend like you give a shit about people. It's important. Because I can't tell you how many times I've walked out of a doctor's office and just been pissed off and red-faced. You know, it affects people's lives, man. How about a smile, a handshake, and an attentive ear, and direct eye contact, and some answers? Can you do that? Can you do that for us? Pretty please with sugar on top? Otherwise, I'll fire you. And that's my rant on doctors. Let me know what you think.